Okay. I'm Chronix from the most extreme wrestling, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for June 18th, 2021. We got JR, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur all on commentary back live. Well, it wasn't live, was it? In Jacksonville, Florida. And I say it wasn't live because normally they show crowd shots, and they didn't do that. Maybe they thought that the fans were going to bust them out on social media. I'm not really sure. They didn't even want to show the pre-recorded ones. So they did that, but they did start off with a split screen. You had blue on one side, you had red on the other. It looked like the old Raw segments where you'd have the two superstars walking down to the ring for the main event, but this actually wasn't for the main event. It was for the first match of the night. Surprising to me, I thought this would be the main event, the MMA cage match between Wardlow and Jake Hager. And the rules for this match, well, you're not in a wrestling ring. You're in an octagon, and it looks like a UFC type cage. You know, it's what is that, 6 feet tall? I'm not sure exactly how tall those things are, but you know, they're tall enough you can run and kind of jump up. They're not 15-foot cages. No, they're straight up UFC looking stuff. And they filmed this thing like very true to what I've seen clips of UFC, the camera angles, the way they handled this. I was quite surprised for them to go for this look. I mean, it's bold. You know, WWE, I imagine in this situation, it would have looked worse somehow. They were really authentic. And I mean, maybe that's because Jake Hager, you know, he's undefeated. He's been in these fights, and perhaps he wouldn't let it look horrible or ridiculous. We remember back to WWE and Ken Shamrock, you know, they had their little thing. Now, this is way back in the day before it was well established, I suppose, what a match like that might look like for the general audience. It's pretty well figured out at this point. So from the entrances, the camera shots, the way they laid it out, the way they did their introductions, it was pretty nice. And Wardlow, he had Sean Spears on his side. Why didn't he have his whole crew? Well, one of the rules is you only can have one person by your side, only one person in your corner that can carry a bucket. And he had Sean Spears, and Jake Hager had Jericho from the Inner Circle. And 3 5-minute rounds, so plenty of time for this segment. Like they really went in with dedication, because they could have done something extremely short. I almost assumed it was going to be rather short, but they gave it the time. So a very ballsy move, in my opinion. Yeah. And Wardlow, he turns his back early, like before they even get started. Like he's just not giving this dude any respect. And I'm like, oh man, Hager, he's going to hurt you, right? They don't even touch the gloves. There's not even like that mutual respect going into this thing. But early on, it's evenly matched up until the end of round 1, where Wardlow, he comes out looking good, which was surprising to me. I was like, uh-oh, Jake Hager, you're going to have to watch out. But even at this point, they're keeping it like pretty MMA based. You know, they're not running and clotheslining and doing these kind of things here at this time. You get into the second round, however, you do see a Hurricane Rana. However, for the most part, I mean, this was pretty MMA based. Like there wasn't a lot of wrestling going on. I mean, there was in the psychology of like, oh, he would take him down and then he would back up. You know, normally in a fight, you like wouldn't just let somebody get up. I would assume, you know, you try to do something else. So I thought that there was a pretty good balance. I assume that a lot of fans are not going to like this match, but honestly, I think that they did a pretty good job doing a match. Like I would never want to book a match like that, but I think that they did a pretty good job of pulling it off. Jake Hager gets Wardlow to pass out after Wardlow is shooting the finger to the camera, so he couldn't get out of it. All he could do was shoot a finger directly into the air. Like, I don't know how many people on this planet have been flipping someone off and then literally passed out seconds later. But there's probably not a better way to go out in a fight in life. You know, going out strong with your fingers up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Hager after the match goes to shake hands with Wardlow, but Spears and Jericho they're in the ring and chaos just ensues. So there could have been respect. I mean, these guys they've been staring at each other. They've just been looking at each other from across the ring for months it seems, and maybe the respect was finally going to come, but the teammates from both sides it just wasn't going to happen. There was too many volatile elements at play here. And MJF runs down and attacks Jericho. He's going after his arm because Jericho, he's finally out of this sling, out of his robotic looking like metal case. I don't even know. It's some kind of brace, I suppose, right? He hurt his arm, falling off the Hell in the Cell thingy, the blood and guts deal. And of course, he goes after that, making Jericho tap, which is it's just damn disrespectful, right? Dean Malenko comes and tries to stop the assault, but MJF he attacks and knocks down Dean Malenko, and I'm just like, how you doing this to the 60-year-old man? But it was good stuff. Hey, Sammy Guevara runs down in a leather vest, you know, kind of like, I don't know, it kind of gave me some Stone Cold vibes. I mean, he's running down there, he's got the vest on, everything. He jumps into over the cage and saves the day. So interesting, on SmackDown, you have a Hell in the Cell match. Here on Dynamite, you have an MMA cage match. Like a couple weeks ago, AEW Dynamite had the Blood and Guts, which is essentially a Hell in the Cell. So it's wild how many gimmick matches like this we're getting thrown at on TV these days. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's a lot. So pretty cool for us, I suppose, but it's a lot of cages, a lot of cage action. And we're actually gonna get some more cage action later on in this review. In just a moment, we're gonna get there. But we see Penta, Kazarian, and Kingston. They're in the ring trailer with the fancy lights in the background. You know what I'm saying? And Kaz is hungry for revenge. Kingston says to say your prayers. That 6-man tag is tonight, and it's going to be wild. All right. Team Taz, they're backstage, and Taz says that they got issues. You know, they got issues in their team. We know it. We've seen it. We've witnessed it. I mean, Ricky Starks, where even was Brian Cage? He wasn't even in this segment. So there's got to be some problems going on here. And Taz tells Starks that basically you need to squash this thing and get Team Taz back as a cohesive unit. And Hobbs interrupts and he said, hey, I got left to be beat up, you know, like where were you guys? You know, the team is not exactly functioning on all cylinders. And Taz makes a challenge for next week's Dynamite, which is on a Saturday, Adam Page versus Hobbs. So that'll be a match to see. But the match that you're going to see right now is the 2-on-1 match. It's Darby Allin and no partner, no Sting. No, it's just Darby Allin taking on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. So Darby's crazy for this. Sting told him to his face that he was crazy for taking this match. However, he's taking that match regardless. And Scorpio Sky, you know, he does this like little dance thing to the ring. I mean, it doesn't look like that, but man, I feel like he's got to like round out his character a little bit because that doesn't really fit him. I don't think like with what he's doing right now. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a happy dance, you know, maybe that's like the way he rolls. I don't know. I just don't really buy it. He looks a little too out of place. Whereas like other people like really have it nailed down on the style department. Like Darby Allin, for instance. It's like, yeah, it's completely identifiable. You know, you could just like do that entrance. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do those mannerisms. It's like very well defined. And Darby, he does start off impressive in this match, but the odds are not in his favor. He's got two people going against him, and this is not going to be good. I mean, Scorpio Sky was a tag team champion, so hey, that is something that he's got to watch out for in a match like this. He does pretty well. Even Darby Allin zip ties Ethan Page's feet together, which was bizarre, weird, and somehow I guess Ethan Page, he had the wherewithal to be like, "Hey, there's tools underneath the ring, and I can use this to cut my way out of the zip ties." So there you go. But looks like Darby Allin is just gonna get overpowered here, and Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page come away with the victory. Now on to Orange Cassidy. Look, he has stumbled his way. He's backed his way. I don't know. He probably wasn't looking for this feud uh, with the Wingman, but he has found his way in there. So we've got Orange Cassidy with the Best Friends and Chris Statlander taking on Cesar Bononi. And the Wingmen, they want to give a makeover to Orange Cassidy. They don't like his look. They think that they can fix it. They can make it better. Whatever the case is, they want to fix it. And that is what the Wingman Makeover Crew, whatever they're calling it, that's what they're here to do. But here in this match, one of the best spots to me was when the Best Friends, they get in the ring, they like post up, they're standing up, and Orange Cassidy gets catapulted out of the ring, does a flip to the Wingman below on the outside, inside of the ring, stun, dog, millionaire, DDT, Orange Punch to Nick, Drake, and Bononi. Orange Cassidy gets the win. So, that wasn't bad. I hate the feud, but it works. Jungle Boy is getting interviewed, but only for about a second until Omega and Callis show up on a golf cart. Omega is mad about getting embarrassed previously, and Omega wants to fight, but Jungle Boy, he'll wait. He's good. He knows that his championship opportunity is next week. It is next Saturday, right? He's going to wait, but Omega insists he wants Jungle Boy to give him one shot right in the face, right in his mouth. He's going to give him one shot. Now, of course, Omega, he's going to attack him after this. They're going to fight, but he wants to give him one free shot, right? So Jungle Boy's like, "Hey, hold my phone. Let me take my jacket off, get ready, whatever." But from behind, freaking Michael Nakazawa slithering in there, using a chair, attacking, and Omega and Callis make the speedy getaway as you got Michael Nakazawa trying to hitch a ride, trying to get away. I mean, he came as part of the team. He wants to leave as part of the team, but he takes too long. They leave him. They leave him to get beat up by Jungle Boy. So, the sacrificial lamb, that is not a crew you want to hang out with, when you just get left as just bait, I guess, to feed to the wolves, right? It's not good stuff. You don't want to get lost in the jungle, you know what I'm saying? Like, that laptop is not going to do you anything when you don't got no Wi-Fi, no power, nothing like that. You just got Jungle Boy on the attack. Big Money Matt Hardy, he's cutting a promo, and Christian comes up to attack, but Christian gets locked in a cage. Yes, Christian Cage gets locked in a cage, and Matt Hardy tells Christian to retire as he's locked up and gives him a check. Writes him a check so he can be comfortable and stay home and never wrestle again. And I just was crossing my fingers like, please, somebody interject, something happen so we don't end up with Christian versus Matt Hardy. I just can't. I can't. No, please, AEW, no. But one thing that they will do, no matter if we want it or not, is give us Brock Anderson and Cody Rhodes taking on Aaron Solo and QT Marshall. Now, it's bad when QT Marshall looks like a pro compared to Brock Anderson. I know that, hey, Brock Anderson, hey, he's Arn Anderson's son, he's a wrestler, whatever, but he just looks so non-intimidating, and he looks lost. Like, I don't know. He wasn't horrible, but comparatively, Yeah. So, hmm. Brock Anderson, he does get the win, so good for him. But, I see somebody like him and I'm like, okay, well, I know his father and he looks like his father. But like what do you do with that? Um it's like I remember when Nick Nemeth came in and people were like, "Ah, cool. That's Dolph Ziggler's brother." And it's like, "Awesome. Well, what is he doing now?" "Oh, he's like a fashion police type guy." Awesome. Real cool stuff. So, now we got Lance Archer and he yeah, he is like he's cutting the promo for Lance. Lance is just like pacing back and forth. He's like, this man is he's an animal essentially. So I like both of those guys no matter what they do. Think it's nice. I like the visuals. It's very nice. Now speaking of visuals, we got Andrade with subtitles. JR is interviewing him and what I think is JR's house. I don't know, I've never been there, but I'm pretty sure that's his house, right? And on Andrade, he has a surprise for us in the future. What that's going to be, we don't know. It's not Vicky Guerrero because we already know that. They had to give him subtitles because I think for the most part he was speaking in English. Like I was really trying to listen. Um, but yeah, I guess it's good that they gave subtitles because there was points where I was like, "What?" Like he was trying to be like super cool. You know what I mean? But I also yeah, I needed the subtitles at points. So that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. He looked great. He looked fantastic. I don't know what the surprise is, honestly, but you know, I hope they got plans for him. Is all I'm saying. I hope they got something nice. They got something good. I'm ready for it. We're gonna get a couple weeks of promos, and I guess he'll show up and do something. We'll see. Marvez is interviewing Hangman Adam Page with the Dark Order, and will Page face Hobbs? Yes. He nonchalantly is just like, yes, I will face them. I accept. And then he is asked about Omega versus Jungle Boy, and he doesn't want to speak about that. Presumably, he doesn't want to speak about Omega because of their past, and he's still messed up about it. He's kind of gone down this downward spiral with the drinking and hanging out with people like the Dark Order. Just saying. He he is hanging out with the Dark Order, like making jokes, and Omega is the champion. That's all I'm saying. He's got to be thinking, man, I need to be in that spot. I need to make it up to that spot. And maybe perhaps he will someday. But right now we got Penelope Ford taking on Julia Hart. She is with the Varsity Blondes, and Julia Hart looks impressive, but taps out to the Indian Deathlock. Sucks for her. Then Miro comes down and asks, where is Kip Sabian? And he's basically coming to help, to save. He does call himself God's favorite champion. So I don't know if he asked or what, but I've never heard somebody say that before. And Miro attacks Griff Garrison. Brian Pillman tries to fight back, but the referees break it up. I'm just asking, like, vibe checks, please, on Miro. He came to help Penelope Ford, even though Kip Sabian and him aren't friends because he beat up Kip Sabian and they haven't really talked. Kip Sabian's been off television for a couple weeks or what months, it seems like. He's been away for a while and he comes to help out Penelope Ford. Like, it just seemed a little odd. It seemed a little weird. I'm just saying those vibes were kind of weird. He's acting a little sus, if you ask me. So, what is that all about? Unsure. I know that Lana is no longer with WWE, so surely she's going to show up at some point, right? So, are they going to be doing like couples versus couples? I feel like they have to, unfortunately, and that's kind of what it seems like that's going to lead to. We'll find out. Backstage, Tony Schiavone's interviewing his girl Britt Baker with Rebel. Vicky Guerrero, she busting. See, AEW has a problem with setting up a promo just to have somebody interrupt, but the person that's getting interviewed in the first place, they don't even get one single word out. It's almost comical the amount of times that this happens. Promo is, or the interview is set up. You have the interview and the interviewee. They're ready to go. Let's go. Hey, I am introducing you. And before I ask a question, bam, here comes somebody to interrupt. Like, I get that that's like a necessary tool to get things moving, but they do the same thing like so often. It makes me hit my microphone, and that's just not cool. So yeah, Vicky Guerrero comes in and she says she smells onions and cheese, basically all those free hamburgers that Britt Baker had got, and she's like, yeah, I'm Vicky Guerrero, and Nyla Rose, my girl, she wants a title shot. So Vicky Guerrero, of course, managing multiple people here in AEW, and she wants that match. And next week, apparently, what we're going to get is Britt and Rebel versus Nyla and Vicky. So we haven't seen Vicky Guerrero wrestle in a while, right? I don't know. I think it'll be entertaining, but random, so random. And this is the storyline going further forward. It's forward. Okay. We know that it's going to be Nyla versus Britt Baker for the championship. Whenever that happens, like that's the match to happen. So this is just our incremental steps in getting there. It'll be an entertaining match. We get a video package on Cash and Dax and Proud and Powerful. It's pretty nice. Proud and Powerful were talking about their upbringing. Well, so was Cash and Dax, but Proud and Powerful's backstory sounded way more impressive because Cash and Dax were like, yeah, I mean, we lived in crappy houses. I mean, sometimes we lived in cars, and that really sucked. And it's like you go to Proud and Powerful, and they're like, yeah, my mother got abused, and I had to live a life of crime to survive because I didn't have like the material. I didn't have the money like to survive, and it's like, man, yeah, Proud and Powerful sounds like their story is more impactful. But I mean, Proud and Powerful being the good guys, I guess that I guess like having that comparison, it actually does make them look better. And then Cash and Dax, it kind of makes them almost look like they're complaining. It's like, okay, sure, your life sucked, but did you have to go through all this? Did you have to live through all this? And did you have to do this to survive? Doesn't sound like it. Now we got Smart Mark Sterling with his client Jade. And they've made some kind of deal on a hotel chain. Use the code that bitch. And they speak about how Rampage, the show, is coming. And Jade speaks a line that I've never heard in wrestling. Well, at least on television. And I haven't heard on television whatsoever. She says, quote, open that ass for Rampage. So, that's a new one for television. But here in the main event, Callis is on commentary. Nick Jackson has the night off. Man, that's a little suspicious if you ask me. It's Penta, Frankie Kazarian, Kingston versus Matt Jackson, Lou Gallows, and Anderson. Exciting main event for sure. But here, man, we get through this match and Nick Jackson, he does make an appearance. He's got that cold spray and he's blinding Penta with it, which is just wrong, rude, and horrible. Anderson gets the win. And yeah, so it was an exciting match there. I was very shocked at the beginning of how long that MMA thing was, but I think it worked, for this show here on Dynamite. It was a entertaining show for the most part. I wasn't bored at any point. And yeah, I'm down with it. AEW, by the way, has announced that they're going to have a replica belt and it's going to be available. You can get the pre-order next Wednesday. And the thing cost like $700, which is a lot, but not as much as some of the WWE titles. The I think it's, what do they call it? The Elite WWE replica belt, like some of those are like $2,000. Like that's the high end. But it's funny seeing so many people whine and complain about how expensive it is when like that's not uncommon for a championship belt. It's like, I wanted it for cheaper than the WWE title and I wanted it to look even better. You can't make anybody happy. It's crazy. But well, you can't make me happy. I just got tickets for Louder Than Life 2021 in Louisville. I think it's Louisville. No, I think it's Louisville, Kentucky. And it's going to be 4 nights of rock bands out there. It's going to be absolutely freaking insane. It's going to be happening in September. So I'm very excited. I got my tickets. I got my time off. And I'll be doing that. So that'll be a huge thing going on. I can't wait for that. Also, got to do my plugs. YWF Explosion, I've been working on editing that. I plan on having that done Tuesday and dropping that episode on Tuesday as long as everything goes smoothly. Of course, you can check out YWF Explosion and Mayhem on the YouTube channel, YouTube Wrestling Federation. So youtube.com/YouTube Wrestling Federation or on Facebook at facebook.com/YouTube Wrestling Federation. Of course, you can tweet me at MXW Chronics on Twitter or check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/donut_space. All of those links, they're in the description. Yes, they are. And hope you guys stay safe, and I will catch you guys next time.